Hi, this is for part 5-8, and the way we're going to approach this problem is that it's very clear and forward that this is the datum, the center of the whole entire part, and then there is an offset of 105 mm work plane to create this like a stem or a chimney. There we will make use of the hole feature to do this countersunk hole, and we'll make use of the hole features to create the shredded hole. Okay. Another offset work plane will be created for this uh, extrusion over here. Let's call it a lug, L-U-G, this lug over here from this view. And the view of this lug, the plan view of this lug looks like that. It's like there's a semicircle over here. Okay, although the R is not given, but the width of it is given as 20 mm, so therefore the R is 10 millimeters or diameter 20 millimeters. For this part, the way I start is I will create this portion here, the cup, then followed by the bush that's coming from the base of the cup. Okay, for the cup, I will make use of the shell command to create the cup. Now, without further ado, I'm going to start using my SolidWorks, and I'll start off with a sketch, and I'll start off with the right plane. Okay, with the right plane, I'll start drawing the circle. Right, and the diameter of the large circle. We'll toggle. If you look at the diameter 85 is here. Diameter 95. Okay, and it is extruded from this edge all the way to the back by 55 millimeters. Okay, but I like to think, should I extrude from one side or should I extrude from both sides? Okay, I have to decide on that, and I think a lot of measurements come from this flat face over here. So what I'll do is I'll extrude from this edge. Okay, from this edge I'll extrude out, and let's see. Yes, I'll extrude it from this edge. So 55 millimeters, 95 diameter. Okay, 95 diameter. And feature extrude, and I'll extrude by 55 millimeters. Okay. Now, after I've extruded by 55 millimeters, I'm going to shell this, right? And the shell command is here. I select this face. This is the face that I will remove, and the shell thickness is 5 millimeters. Okay, the shell thickness is 5 millimeters, right? So it's shown over here, 5 millimeters. So I go back to SolidWorks, change this value to 5, and do a shell. Okay, now once I've created the shell, I'll create a sketch on this side of the view, and I will draw the bush. Okay, the diameter of the bush right from this surface, so I chose this surface as my second datum, or where I sketched on. The diameter of the bush is diameter 48, and it is I'm going to extrude it in one direction 33 millimeters, and in the other direction 36 millimeters. Okay, 36 millimeters. So diameter 48. Hang on for a second. Just double check, diameter 48, 33, and 36. So diameter 48, then I extrude. Features, one direction, it's 33 millimeters. Then in the second direction, right? So in the second direction, so I'm extruding by both directions. It is 36. Mhm. Then this bush has a hole, right? This bush has a hole, so I create a sketch. Select this, sketch plane, and I'm going to draw a hole. The hole has a diameter, and the value of this hole diameter is diameter 32. Okay, and then I will cut it all throughout. Through all to remove it in this direction. Okay, and click OK. I made a mistake. I extruded it instead. It should be extruding cut. Extrude cut through all, and there I've created the hole. Okay, so I've created this shell feature. I created this hole, right? Um, then there is a web that runs in the inside, right? There's a web that runs in the inside, and let's create the web. And the web is 20 millimeters from the inner edge, okay, and the thickness is 5 millimeters, right? So what happens is, if you rotate the view and I go over to my work plane, that'll be my front plane that I'll be sketching on. So for the sketch, I create a sketch plane and I'll be sketching on the front plane. Okay, sketching on the front plane on the other side, and I can't see anything, so I'm going to change my display to wireframe. Okay, with wireframe, I'm able to draw a line from this edge all the way down. Okay, and then I will dimension this line to the inner edge, and it's supposed to be 20 millimeters. Okay, 20 millimeters, and I accept it. Right, go back to my features, go to my rib, and my rib width is 5 millimeters. Enter, and it is you need to pay attention to the arrow that is pointing in the correct direction. So this is pointing in the correct direction, then I click OK to accept it. Right, so far there's no rebuild error, so it should be fine. However, you can always go to your view and check to see if it's okay. Yes, it's okay. You have your rib over there. Before we proceed further, I'd like to put in my radiuses, and my unspecified radius is 3. Okay, so I have a radius in the insides that's 3 millimeters, and on the rib, the top and the left of the rib, and then on the bottom of the rib and on the top of the rib. So there is a radius 3 on the inside, and then there is a radius 8 on the outside. Okay, so I need to take note of this. Radius 3 on the inside, and then on the inside of the radius, this as well. Okay, so these are all radius 3 millimeters. Okay, so I've got that covered, and then let's check what's the corner radius for this. The corner radius for this is 3 as well. So sometimes after the radius has been already done, you can edit feature and you can add on additional fillets in case you missed it out. Then there is an R8 fillet on the outside corner, so it's 8 millimeters, and it is on this corner, which is pretty large if you ask me. Yeah, R8. Okay, and the next thing that I'll draw is I'll draw these little mounting points. I'll draw one at the bottom. Okay, and if you were to zoom in, wait, the locks here. If you were to zoom in, okay, the radius of this is 8 millimeters. The center of it lies on the circumference of the diameter 95, and then there is a threaded hole. So I'll create a threaded hole, and I'll add the fillet radius on the front of it and on the back of it. Okay, before I use the circular array to create the other two lugs. Okay, so this is how I will approach this problem. So I'm coming over to this side of the view, and my sketch will be on this surface, which is the top surface, right? It's the top surface. And what I'll do is I'm going to draw a circle, okay? And the radius of it is 8, right? Then you see it's not fully constrained, okay? So what happens is that you may want to, for the sake of discipline, we constrain it. Press Control. Let me zoom in so that it's easier to see. Okay, let me Control Z. It's easier if I were to draw it off center. And then what I'll do is I select this circle, Control. Then I zoom in, and there is a little point here, and I have to press Control to add. This is the point, so it's 2 point, and I make it coincident. Okay, so it is coincident, right? And one of the other ways to align it vertically is to select this point, Control, and select the center, and make sure that they are vertical, right? Then the radius of this is 8 millimeters. 8. It's very small. And what I'll do is I will trim this away. Oh, sorry, I can't, because there is no outline to trim it. So what I'll do is I'll do the convert entities, and I will draw this. I will click on this edge. So what it does is that it will convert that edge to a line, okay, and that splits my circle into half. So what I can do is I can trim this entity away, and I have the half semicircle. Now once this is done, I'm ready to extrude, and I'll extrude, and I'll select this selected contours. I'll select this contour, and I'll change the direction. Okay, and the distance that it will be extruded, if you look at the question paper, is 15 millimeters. Okay, extruded by 15 millimeters. So I'm going back to the. So I'll take 15. And then there it is. Okay, so it's a small little ear, radius of 8. All right, double confirm, R8. Okay, and the unspecified radius are 3 millimeters. So I wonder what I can do is I wonder if I can pull this down. No, I can't. Control Z. I want to create another fillet, and specifically for these little mounting points. Okay, so this is 3. Its radius here is 3. Oops, I selected the face and I shouldn't have. So you can, if you selected it wrongly, you can choose the face and then you press delete. Then you go back and you reselect the edge instead. Okay. Then I select this edge again and I click accept. Right. So I have this. Right. The next thing I'll do is I will create a sketch, and I will put a point there so that it's easier for me later on to, and I'll put the point somewhere here, and then I'll select the point, control, it will be coincident to this diameter, this curvature, right? I'll accept that, and then I'll click and I'll make sure that it is vertically aligned to the origin. Okay, so that I know it's spot on center, right? It's spot on center. And next, what I'll do is I will rotate it a little and I will create my threaded hole. Okay, and get out the sketch, and there is the hole wizard. Okay, now for the threaded hole, it's actually at M6. The depth of the hole is 12 millimeters. The threaded part of the hole is 10. Okay, so M6. This is the threaded hole. First, I locate the position, and this is the plane, followed by the. Can you see the earlier point that I created? I'll snap to it. Okay, snap to it. Then I accept it, and oh, I accept it means I need to edit feature to. I shouldn't have accepted it. I should have continued back to the type of hole, and this is a threaded hole, and I use an ISO standard, and I choose M6. Okay, M6, right? M6. M6. Okay, something is not quite right with the radius. Later I'll go and check again. I suspect that when I key in the radius 8, it's actually a diameter 8. I should have keyed in 16 instead. So we'll go back to it to make that change later. Let's settle the threaded holes first. Alright. M6, and what we're going to do is we're going to show the custom sizing. Okay. It is not a true all condition. Okay, it's not a true all condition, it's a blind, right? So the depth is 15 and the depth is 12, and the threaded hole feature is 10. Okay, and this is how the threaded hole will be like. And then I click accept. Okay, now the threads are not shown because so you may need to go to your settings. Excuse me. You need to go to your settings, and from your settings you go to document properties, detailing. You need to check this shaded cosmetic threads and you click OK, and your threads would appear. Now it looks like it's correct, but actually when you look at a drawing you realize that hey, your mounting point here it's a little small, so something's not quite right, and we're going to check it out. Okay, so we're going to edit sketch for this. And yes, it's true, it's diameter 8, right? It's not supposed to be diameter 8, it's diameter 16 because it's radius 8. So this was the mistake. So I'm going to fix it, and I fixed it now. Oops. Cancel, and it is updated, and this is what I have, right? And that's more like it. Okay. Now once all these features are done, we're going to choose the linear pattern, but instead of linear pattern, you need to click on the black arrow and you go on the circular pattern instead. Okay. The first thing they'll prompt you is what is the direction, okay, that you actually need to address. Where does it rotate about? It rotates about the center of this of the whole entire part, and you can choose any round surfaces that shares the same center. So you can choose this surface, or you can choose this surface, or you can choose the outer surface. It will all be the same, right? And the features that I want to rotate would be the boss feature. I want to rotate the fillet feature, and I want to rotate the tab hole, right? And then what I'll do is I'll click OK. Whoops. Edit feature. I need to say that it is going around 360 degrees, okay? And there will be a total of 3 of these features. Now click OK. Why do they say? Sorry, very negative demonstration over here. Equal spacing, 3 spaces. Okay, not instant spacing. Equal spacing, 3 spaces. So I click OK. Then I accept it. And this is what I have, right? So it's the circular pattern to do this feature. Right? Now, once this is done, I will then approach the building of the chimney or the stem, and I need to create an offset plane. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to the reference geometry, go on to plane, and my reference plane would be my top plane, and the distance that I will need to go up by is 105 millimeters. Okay, so I want to create a work plane that's 105 millimeters, and I'll just write here 105, and there I created a work plane. I accept it and it appears, and what I'll do is I will do a sketch on this work plane. Okay, once the sketch is done, it goes normal. I can draw in this view, or I can draw in this view. Okay, so drawing from this view, I will create my circle, right? And what I'll do is I'll draw it somewhere off center. It's a habit, and why I do that is that so I can locate the point, right? You notice the thing that I always do is I'll draw a feature, a circle or a rectangle, and then I'll add my constraints. Okay, I'll add my constraints because that's very important. You want to fully constrain it. You want to ensure that the location is in the correct position, and the diameter of this is 25. Okay, I'll draw the smaller stem first, and then the distance to this edge, which is the top, which is the front plate, is 30 millimeters. Okay, and this is what I was creating, right? So I create the stem, and then what I'll do is I will extrude. And this time around, I won't be able to extrude by a fixed distance or blind distance, because if you do, it will protrude and exceed over here, okay, due to this curved surface. So what I'll do is usually I will extrude up to next, right? And that means it hits up to this surface and then it will stop, and that's okay for me. All right. I'll continue another sketch to create the top portion, and the larger diameter is diameter 50. So I move my mouse over to the circumference, so the center of that will pop out, so it shares the same center. Okay, it shares the same center. This one is diameter 50, and it goes down by 12 millimeters. Okay, You have to be careful that you don't make that mistake, right? It's 12 millimeters. Okay, and once that's done and you no longer need the plane, you can hide it. Okay, so it's not visible anymore. And you have a few radiuses at the bottom, right? And they are R3 in nature, so I can I just get them out of the way first. There is this at the corner, that's R3. This is R3. The base over here is R3. Okay, I accept it. Okay, so this is the chimney. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the whole pattern now, the whole wizard. And this time around, I'm not going to create a sketch with a dot. I'm going to show you how you can do it without it as well, right? Pretty much the same actually, if you ask me. Uh, you go to the positions, you select this plane, and you move your mouse, right, to the circumference so that you see the center of the circle. Then you can zoom in and you snap to this. Okay, so you are snap to the center of it. You go to the type, you select counter ball. This is the counter ball that you have, right? And the counter ball that you have would have a custom slicing, show custom slicing, and the diameter of this is diameter 11. Your counter ball hole diameter is 25. Okay, the height, the depth of the counter ball is 3 millimeters. It's actually quite small. Okay, and then how does it end? Okay, up to surface or up to next, and it goes through. Okay, and I says okay. And what happens is that there's a hole that gets cut through, and there is a spot face over here. Okay, so that's how you get this counter ball feature. Okay, and I think this is it. The next one is to create the lug. Okay, there is a lug on this side of the face, and what I need to do is I need to create an offset work plane. All right, because it's offset 56 millimeters from the center. Okay, so from the top plane over here, I will do 56, enter. There will be another work plane that is created, right? And when this is clear, you click OK to accept it, and you can create your sketch on this work plane. Did it register that? Okay, I think they are not registering it for the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in. Whoops, zoom in, rotate, and I'm creating sketch, and I'm sketching on this work plane. So they register it, and I rotate. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the semicircle. Now this is going to look a bit messy, but I like to see it in my wireframe. Okay. Excuse me, having a bit of a sniffles. Um, Maybe to make it less confusing. Yeah, I can draw it over here, and I'm going to draw a circle. Okay, and I'm going to make sure that I'm going to dimension it, and the radius of this is, so what I'm going to draw is I'm going to draw this feature here, and the radius of this is 10, the diameter is 20, so I'm going back here. Okay, 20, right? And the thing is, this this log. Uh, the center of the log to the edge of the face is given as dimension 32. I'm not sure if you can see it. The center part of this to the center of the circle, right, is to the center of the circle is 32. Okay, so not to the edge, to the center of the circle. So what I need to do is I need to select this dimension, and let me go to the origin, and I'm not able to select the center of the circle, or maybe I can. Yeah, I can. You just select the circumference of the um, smaller circle, the countersunk hole, and this dimension is 32. Sorry, I got it in the wrong orientation. I'm supposed to draw it on this side. My apologies, my bad. Um, I'm supposed to. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't be drawing it here. I should be drawing it on this side. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Control Z. It's supposed to be on this side. Okay. And this one is 20. Then I align it. Center of this to that. It's not concentric. It's quite no. I can't align it. Okay, wait. I have to get out of this. So what I'll do is I'll convert entities this first. Okay. Then what I'll do is I will select the center of this circle to this arc point, and I'll say that they are, I wouldn't say coincident. Okay. And then I'll dimension this circle. No, I can't make this driven. Okay, I'm gonna repeat this again. I've drawn a circle, I've drawn a diameter 20. Then I convert the entities, convert this entity, and actually what I wanted to do is not the arc. I should select the center of the circle, the center of this dot, and I want to make it vertical. Okay, now it is this distance that is 32. Okay, 32 millimeters, right? And this is a straight edge running into the pipe. Okay, and it goes across and it goes down. Okay, close the loop. And what happens is this edge here needs to reside. Okay, it needs to go all the way in. Okay, 20, 25. But you have to be careful that it does not go past and interfere with the circle, right? Now once it's in this deep already, Okay, you can actually trim away the bottom arc. Okay, and you have the full arc over here. Then what you do is you extrude the base in the opposite direction and you opposite to next. Okay, then you click accept. From there you would have this dark feature that is created over the part. Okay, then I'm going to hide this work plane so that it's not so confusing. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put in all the fillets, and the fillets is at, I could actually drag this down, could I? Yes, I could drag this down, and I could actually uh, edit the fillet order so that I don't have to keep clicking the fillet command. And I know that this here is a fillet radius, and the surrounding is a fillet radius as well. This is also a fillet, so I have to ensure that that happens, and I accept it. Okay, so I have this lug and I have all the fillet radius. The next thing to do is to create the pilot hole, the through hole that's all the way through. And I'm going to use my hole wizard. For the hole wizard, you always have to put the position first, and I move my mouse over to, I select this plane, and they'll give me this whole position. So it's really big, so I'll just go to the blind hole first. Keep customizing value and type. Go to the blind hole, go to position, select this face, and then I move my mouse to the circumference, and the center of this circumference will pop up, and I want it to share the same circumference, which is this. Okay, now I go back to the type and I scroll down, and the diameter of the hole is diameter 3, so I just write 3. Okay, and the condition of the hole is up to next, right? Because it goes all the way through until to the next feature. Then I click OK, and I have my whole feature. So this completes my part 5-5-8, and that's how I would do it on SolidWorks. Okay, I hope this video helps, and I'll see you around soon.